Got a little Sunday brunch run going on. Uh, Shoutouts to Crrool for being able to do this. Time's a little brutal way out there in the Netherlands. Oh, we got a pyramid going. Anyone gonna stop it? Ooh! Stripe with the snipe. No emo pyramid for you, Falexxx. We have a little cutscene trying to troll the chat. I dig it. I can respect that. So we are starting the second week of this Boogie Percent Super Series annual tournament. It's the third annual, and it doesn't feel like it's been that long. Uh-oh, Crrool has kind of messed up some of his RPGs. There are some items that you can equip from the inventory. Others you have to actually go to the equip menu. No big deal. Basically, as long as the crackbat is equipped before you talk to Picky, or talk to Pokey, so it doesn't give you that extra dialogue about how to use your items, it's all fine. Erythium, what is up? Yep, I am here. Yeah, the first 4.5 minutes of this run is pretty much plot advancing. Spawns are turned off while all the cops are freaking out over this meteor. A lot of this is old news for people who have tuned in to the other Boogie Percent races the last week or previous brackets. Later that night, hype. Yeah, I always like how Picky is nearly pounding the door down. Got some mad punches. Yeah, I know, right? It's only 1990X, and I'm sure doorbells have definitely been a thing then. So Falexxx is about to have his crew. Going to have Pokey join. I don't think he's going to have the dog, but that's an option too. I have faith in Falexxx to be able to stutter step past the snakes and deal with all the other monster AI. Falexxx is about to finish this phone dad call. We're going to see what his Onet Hill looks like. It's what we call this segment. Oh, we got a crow. Crows have kind of wonky movement. They seem to move in like a horizontal pattern. Like either left or right based. He's going to stutter past this snake. As I'm sure Crrool was about to do, but then Crrool saw the crow on the left side, didn't want to deal with that. I think Crrool might have been able to dodge past that Crrool, but we had no idea what was beyond that. This place can really be a zoo. Just spawns everywhere, all kinds of different animals. And if you have to take a fight, it might as well be the dog. Like, crows are really fast, so they can dodge a lot of Ness's attacks. Crows can also steal items. Not that that's a big issue here. And then the snakes can solidify and really waste your time. Also, killing the dog gives us enough experience for level 2, which makes our first Pogopunk fight really easy. But Falexxx is about to start the Buzz dialogue. Made it through the hill. All the spawns will turn off after Buzz joins. Crrool is just getting really unlucky with these spawns. Yeah, unfortunately, the dogs have like the normal aggressive pattern. You pretty much have to use the terrain to your advantage if you want to get around them. So this whole saving the world thing that Buzz is talking about, completely disregard that. This is Boogie Percent, where we're going to raid a haunted circus tent and steal its fly honey. That's the real quest of this game. Must be one of those Eagle Land delicacies. That's what the story of Earthbound's been about this entire time. I have no idea what Buzz is talking about. But we'll let him join the party so he can carry through the Starman Jr. fight. I won't give any spoilers about what happens after that. So Starman Jr. has 200 HP. It can really waste our time by using a fire attack. Dude, 6 smash from Picky, still does 1 damage. Yeah, we don't want that fire attack because it's AoE. It attacks all the enemies. We want Buzz to charge forward and not deal 38 damage like he did for Falexxx. Then another fire attack, but honestly that's the most common attack. I completely missed what Buzz hit for the second turn. We're hoping that Buzz's next attack, the third attack, will kill it off. That seems to be par. Oh, there we go. We got the charge forward. Yeah, Falexxx made par for that. Honestly, like an 8-10 something Starman split is perfectly fine. We have more dialogue on Falexx's screen. Neighbors are leaving the party. And that sound effect is for lecturing, not anything else. Just verbally scolding the kids. Nothing more serious than that, I promise. Buzz is going to give us the Soundstone, which allows Ness to record melodies that we get after killing each of the Sanctuary bosses. We're going to ignore that also. We're going to get one demo track from Giant Step, but that'll be it. Imboport Falexxx proved me wrong and does an early mono mole, just to prove me wrong. I'm pretty sure Falexxx has been against early mono mole, like one of the first people to speak out against it. So I'm pretty sure I'll be safe in saying that we're only getting one demo track. Yeah, good reaction dodging that dog. Sometimes those dogs and the birds can make a beeline straight towards nests. It's really easy to get complacent, especially someone like Falexxx who runs this game with manipulation. You just kind of get into that mindset. Yeah, it's a manner of saying. Thought I'd make a birds and bees thing. A little animal pun that was unintended. Okay, Falexxx is just setting up his inventory for the arcade fights. God, it feels really bad to despawn monsters from the vertical. It takes a little bit longer to despawn when you're going up or down. Oh, we might have a little pincer. I think that's enough to despawn the snake. Okay, that's a good first turn from Falexxx. No charge forwards, and a smash to top it off. Really nice. He could actually heal up by picking up the can of fruit juice. We'll see if he does that. Nope, he's just going for it. I don't fault him for that. 41 HP starting this second fight. It should be a 2-turn kill. Man, another miss. No, they're just staring each other down now. That's what, 4 misses? Okay, this one has to hit. Wow. That... Yeah, shoutouts to early game nests. Kid didn't get any baseball practice during his childhood. Well, now it's anyone's game. Yeah, and unfortunately there's no way to despawn, or not despawn, get rid of this photo. Oh wow, lucky miss from the Pogopunk on that last turn. This game has an interesting hit point mechanic where the health actually goes low. Oh boy, Falexxx almost getting that snake fight. Anyway, while Nest takes damage, it kind of bleeds through his HP meter. Kind of slowly ticks down. You can actually get a heal off as long as your HP doesn't go to 0 before the action goes through. But anyway, 6 HP on Crrool screen wouldn't have been enough. Yeah, walking into the arcade for the second time, that was a good example of using terrain. Falexxx just hid underneath the bushes to dodge those Pogopunks. Yep, you gotta answer no to the hula hoop guy. It's a cool fourth wall barrier, though. Fourth wall break, I guess. Like it's self-aware that it's part of a video game. Okay, both players are about to top Ness's HP up before they start the Frank fight. Okay, Crrool is at 46 HP, which is a scary low amount. Frank can stab for really high damages and might not be able to get the heal off in time. Okay, Crrool went really risky by not healing after taking damage, but his bash was a smash, so it worked out. It looks like Falexxx is going to survive this fight also. But yeah, he's healing after every time he gets hit, no matter what damage he takes. Okay, Crrool finished Frankenstein pretty well. Oh, nice smash. So yeah, even with that one death, 16-minute Frankenstein fight is pretty respectable. I'm pretty sure Falexxx is also going to re-enter the backyard and heal up at Frank. Yeah, Falexxx was able to switch to auto fight because he knew what kind of damage the robot can do. The throwing a punch is the weak attack that'll deal about 15 damage. And then tearing into nests is the strong attack that does somewhere between 25 and 35. And he was able to cancel it during the charge-up attack so he can heal himself up. Get to skip a little bit of battle menuing by switching to auto fight. I'm sure there are speedrunners in this chat who know how many frames the bash select saves. I want to say it's like 40 frames per turn, but I don't know the number exactly. So we have some more plot advancing and setup before we start the slug grind. Mostly picking up the key from the shady mayor of the town, Mayor Perkle. Withdrawing $90 or $100, going back into the burger shack, loading up on burgers. And hopefully not using all of them against Titanic Ant. Yeah, there's definitely one way of looking at Erythium. I just really count on the two Rockins and whatever Bash's Nest can do to kill the ant off and still have enough hamburgers for the cop fights. Okay, that was some good luck from Crrool. Only one despawn on the way to the first ant fight. First slug fight, rather. He's taking 5 hit points, which means Ness has a low defense. Okay, it's a damage roll between 4 and 5. That's interesting. Meanwhile, Falexxx is taking 4, so his defense is pretty average. It would make sense to auto-fight during all of the slugs, but at level 5, Ness is at his weakest, and I'm seeing a lot of sub-30 damage rolls. And that's not enough to kill these slugs. I'm sure after this first fight, when Ness gets level 6, they're probably going to switch to auto fight. So it looks like Crrool is one... Oh, never mind. They are pretty much dead even. Both players starting their second pack of slugs. So Crrool is still opting to manually bash these slugs, and Falexxx is just going through auto fight, not even dealing with killing slug A, just letting it stay weakened. We talked about a bomb drop before. So each encounter has a 1 out of 128 chance of dropping a bomb. I do not think we've seen any bomb drops in this Boogie percent bracket. But we're only 1 week in. I'm sure it'll happen. Usually the speedrunners kill the 22 slugs to get to level 8. And they usually do it in 5 packs. That is 4 packs of 4 in the first 2 floors. And then a pack of 6 to make it a total of 22. Crrool unfortunately took a mouse fight. Got that red swirl, the back attack. Yeah, the mice smashers only look intimidating. They pretty much deal as much damage as an ant if the mouse smashes. Otherwise, they only deal 1 damage. Another big number that these runners will be looking for is offense at level 8. Hoping for 24, so that when you fight single antoids on the way to giant ant, or titanic ant, we'll get that auto win screen. Don't have to deal with stuttering past any single ants. Just face check it. Yeah, stutter stepping in this game can be a brutal mechanic. So he's just going to reset the room. No big deal. I believe Falexxx just finished his 4th pack of slugs, so he's going to be on his way to the final pack of 6. Meanwhile, Crrool having all kinds of slugs. See a little bit of lag on Ness's movement. The Super Nintendo hardware can only handle so much. Okay, I miscounted. Falexxx is starting his 4th fight. So he'll be at 16 after this. Yeah, spawning this six pack can be a pain. You can have really good slug grinds up until this point and then wait 2 minutes to get that ideal pack. But I think because of the extra mice Crrool fought, I think he's going to be at 14 after killing this 3-pack and the one that didn't join that fight. Okay, so Falexxx is going to try to get an empty room here. Or stutter past that. Oh, unfortunately there's a spawn tile right in front of that cave, and there's nothing you can really do about it. Just, what's up? I'm a black Antoid. Please notice me. Yeah, Falexxx is probably one of the more impressive runners when it comes to stutter stepping. But there are just spawn tiles that are not worth trying to get past. Okay, this fight can be really scary. Black Antoids can life themselves up, call for help. Their attacks can even smash. Okay, Falexxx did get over 24 offense at that level up. I didn't notice that. Yeah, in that room on Falexx's screen, a lot of the Antoids like to hide in the pebbles. They kind of blend in with the terrain. So Falexxx is hoping he can get his Rockins off before the Ant can sap his mana away with his Magnet attack. Those are some really good damage rolls, actually. That was nearly 200 damage. Even with that physical shield, it's only going to be like 2 or 3 attacks to kill it off. Or 1 smash. There you go. Yeah, that was a really sick Ant fight. Yeah, one of my favorite pictures from Earthbound was one that Falexxx made, or one that I saw from Falexxx. It's pretty much the Titanic Ant with that troll face pasted on it. That's pretty much the average Titanic Ant fight. This time he made it look easy. Hopefully Crrool has a lot of the same luck. Ah, 53 is a really low number. Okay, fortunately, the Ant only sapped 2 psychic points. He won't be able to life himself up with Life Up Alpha, but the second Rockin' got off. The rest of this fight is going to play out like the Frank fight. If the Ant damages Ness should heal up on the next turn. And got the smash. Okay, but the Ant didn't finish him off. Thank goodness for that. Oh yeah, fun fact, defense down never works. You may think it works, but it doesn't work. Ah, rip. I talked about the rolling health meter. Being able to heal from 21 HP is really, sketchy. Like, it's been done, but you have to mash like a madman to pull it off. So we got the cop fight on Falexx's screen. The cops take 3 hits to kill, or 1 smash. I'm pretty sure the agreed healing strat is to use a hamburger when Ness is at 60 or less HP, and to use a life up magic when he's at 30, like 35 or under. And we're hoping that Ness outspeeds the cop on bashes, and the cop outspeeds Ness on the heals, so that Ness doesn't overheal. Feels bad to use a hamburger, and then the cop to use a crushing chop and sending Ness back to square one. Really lucky misses from the cops. Yeah, the dream would be to finish off the 5 cops, actually 4 cops. The 5th one is a wuss and backs off. Starting the Captain Strong fight, Ness would like to have 20 psychic points. Just finish Strong off with 2 Rockins. And we got the burger drop. I don't know what chance that is. I want to say like 1/16th. Like, it's uncommon enough, and it always feels good to get one. Okay, Falexx taking it safe, using life up. I don't blame him for that one. Oh, did he use any hamburgers? That's really impressive. Really lucky. Oh boy. Thank goodness he has those hamburgers. Just gonna bash it out with the captain. Fortunately, Strong has a lot of empty turns. So 32-minute Onett is a really solid time considering the Frank death. I mean, those just happen. I assume he's not on PB pace, but I'm still expecting a solid run here out. There's still a lot of RNG that he needs to get through Peaceful Rest Valley and Happy Happy Village. I wonder if Crrool is going to go for level 9 strats. Like, I'm sure he's not intending to take these slugs. But if Ness gets level 9, he gets 30 psychic points. So assuming the Titanic Ant doesn't use any magnets, Ness can get off 3 Rockins. Make the fight pretty free. Yep, and there it is. Having 90 HP is also really strong. Oh wow, the world record for this category is really a mid 103. Daniel's a beast. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Unfortunately, a lot of the ant sprites like to hide in the rocks in that final room. Uh-oh, the doggo bopped him. Yeah, that's an unfortunate wipe. I guess he could have cut his losses and used Rocket Alpha turn 1 and then go back to the butterfly room. I don't fault him for trying to run away. I'm sure there's a chance on turn 1. But like I said, Crrool's level 9. He should be able to kill Titanic Ant once he gets there. Yeah, I thought for sure that final room only had one ant. Both of them must have been joined, like in the same pixel. So Falexxx finished his story stuff in Tucson, talked to Apple Kid. His mouse gave him a phone. Pretty much loaded the pencil statue in memory saying, hey, it's there. And that's the plot trigger to get the Apple Kid phone call as soon as he leaves this cave. But yeah, in that final room in Giant Step, I like to wait a little bit. The monsters in Giant Step you can stutter around, so they only move if Nest does. I like to wait a little bit and see what else is there. You can kind of see the ninja ants if you take a little bit of time to look at it. Yeah, you definitely want to go down to Apple Kid through the grass. You don't want to fight Everdread. The legendary Everdread fight in this category. It's a no bueno. I'm actually not sure if you can run away from Tucson cops. It's an interesting question because there are monsters like the cultists coming up in Happy Happy Village. They're triggered as plot monsters. Like you have to fight the cultist in the shack. You can't run away from that fight. So they flagged every other cultist as unrunnable, unavoidable. I wonder because if you fight the Onett cops, you can't run away from the Tucson cops. I never figured that out. But I want to say you can eventually run away from them, just because those cops have the green sprite, or blue sprite colors, hello. I think that enough makes it flag differently. Yeah, Falexxx just passed a pincer heavy point in PRV. Always a good feeling to get past that. Oh no, there's actually a line in that area that Falexxx is passing through now. If you go towards the outside line going down that hill, you can actually avoid spawns by that NPC. Yeah, meanwhile, Crrool finding another 6-pack. It's always the return trip to Giant Step that all the slugs decide to spawn. So Falexxx had to respawn a second butterfly, make sure he was fully healed. And Crrool will actually do the same. I think Crrool went up to 27 psychic points from the first butterfly, because those only heal 20 PP. One of the snakes were aggressive. Ness is at a low enough HP that some of the snakes will be aggressive, while others won't. Okay, I definitely thought for sure there was only one ant in that room. Okay, nice outspeed. Yeah, the chance to call for help increases as there's only one ant left. Oh yeah, this run might not be as mechanically intensive as like some platforming runs, but this game definitely requires a lot of reaction and a lot of game knowledge too. And a lot of those responses have to be impulse. Unfortunately, the ant zapped away enough psychic points that Crrool couldn't let off his third rockin'. Meanwhile, Falexxx is fighting Cultist C. He was kind of hoping the first rockin' would deal 94 damage. That would be enough to kill the cultists. But honestly, being able to hit the crow through its high base speed, that would have been enough for a decent first rockin'. I would think that anyway. I have no idea what Crrool's inventory looks like. He might have to go back to the burger shop and get more hamburgers. I don't know if he went to the burger shop after one of the ant deaths. Yeah, if Earthbound is right, if he has 5, I think that should be enough to kill the cops. So Falexxx is going to go through this cultist maze. Fortunately, only has to fight one cultist. I think he's going to get the vitality life up because he fought cultist C. And that'll be really huge for setting up the death warp. You might have already gotten it. The only reason why I would say that is because Ness dealt a lot of damage to that cultist. That was a 2-turn fight, whereas normally it would be a 3-turn. So this is a scripted fight. It's a 3-round cycle where Carpaner is going to use a lightning attack, which has a 1 in 4 chance of hitting. Both of them hit. Both of them hit for high damage also. I think every time I try to explain the cultist fight during this series, it's always a quick fight, so I can't ever fully explain how Carpaner goes. But if Carpaner didn't get wiped after that first turn, he would use a PSI ability. And then the third turn is a bash. It does about 45 to 55 damage, depending on what items Ness has. Yeah, I saw that status flash. I think Falexxx has somewhere between 50 and 60. It's an okay amount. It's going to take 2 hits from the mole to kill Ness. And then Ness is going to respawn in the Tucson department store. Oh yeah, Crrool has plenty of hamburgers. Hopefully he doesn't accidentally eat that cookie instead. Yeah, I've done that enough. And like I said when Falexxx fought the cops, these cops take 3 bashes to kill or 1 smash. If Ness has 30 psychic points or more by the 4th cop, you might want to use a Rockin', try to get a 1-turn kill that way. Otherwise, it might be a low rock and roll and 1 bash. Yeah, Falexxx intentionally taking that back attack, giving the mole an extra turn. It would have been nice for the sharp claws, the strong attack to go to Ness, but any attack is good. Yo, the guts save, though. Yeah, Ness is able to switch from using the ATM card to defend once he's below, like, 15 hit points. Okay, so Crrool is entering the strong fight, looking pretty healthy. Not full health, but plenty psychic points. Okay, hopefully this Rockin' hits. There we go. That's no net split. Oops, I gotta refresh the stream. But it looks like Falexxx is going to go through another Tucson story advancing. He has to revive Paula, otherwise he won't be able to trigger the preschool scene. Apparently Paula's parents won't be happy with seeing Paula ghost. Yeah, that's right, Dragoon. Literally the one time you don't want to see a gut save. Some people might argue you might want Paula to die during the Boogie tent fight so that she doesn't get leveled up. I'm not sure if that actually saves frames, though, because the extra experience goes to Ness and Jeff. Yeah, Crrool was aware of the photo trigger in front of the bicycle shop. Good job avoiding that. And it's not really a redundant thing. We actually had an Earthbound marathon at Limit Break where one team picked up the bicycle as a joke. They actually got the photo trigger. So it's definitely not something that can be taken for granted. The Falexxx taking a short break during the Runaway 6 show, the Runaway 5+1. So here's the question: Who is the band ignoring? If there's 6 people and they're claiming themselves as the Runaway 5, I'm pretty sure it's the keyboardist, just hanging out in the back. Like maybe the keyboardist only does live shows and the 5 people do studio work. Oh, the bassist, you're breaking my heart. But yeah, that's probably true too. They pressed the demo button. Love that answer. I think Crrool might have been able to dodge the sprouts by hugging the right side. But again, you never really know what's beyond the screen. Could have been a UFO sniping him out. Definitely playing it safe. And so Falexxx did that weird circle pattern because there's another photo trigger at the Chaos Theater. So if I remember the story of this game, or at least the story of this cutscene, there are ghosts that are haunting the tunnel between Tucson and Threed. And I guess there are other ghosts between Tucson and the desert, but I forget how that works. But if you try to take the bus through, the ghosts scare the bus into turning around and going back to Tucson. But now that we have this blues music behind us, this rockin' music, it's too loud for the ghosts to spook us. So it's the ghosts that turn back around to Tucson. They ain't afraid of no ghost. Oh yeah, Boogie Percent is an abridged category of this game that the speedrunning community made up maybe 2 or 3 years ago to kind of introduce people to the game. Usually, it ends after killing the Boogie Tent and picking up the Fly Honey. That's when the final split occurs. The run might also cater to runners who don't necessarily have the time to run the full glitchless route, which is anywhere between 4 and 5 hours. Want to show the support for the game by playing, this shorter category. But just because it's a shorter category doesn't mean it's any easier. For a lot of the glitchless runners, runs reset during this first hour and a half, for sure. This first half has its fair share of execution, but it's also very RNG heavy. The game needs to give us a break if we want to be on a decent pace, a competitive pace. Yeah, Crrool got mostly gate kept at Giant Step. But Ness is pretty overpowered right now. He actually has 40 psychic points entering Happy Village. There's some extra options available. Might be able to use an extra rockin' somewhere. Okay, we got a pincer going on. I think if Crrool hugs the bottom part of this wall, he can dodge the sprout. Well done. Yeah, don't let the game fool you into thinking PRV stands for Peaceful Rest Valley. Can easily become pretty painful. Okay, so Falexxx is going to get out of this boarding house. He's going to use his roommate's help. Roommate and close friend. There's a menuing section in the locker room. He's going to raid it for some equipment items. Yeah, it's an unfortunate red swirl. I thought Crrool had the juke, but he got bonked at the cliff. Yeah, that tree was completely covering that sprout. I didn't see it. I didn't see it either. Okay, there should be a butterfly spawn for Crrool. Be able to heal him up. Yeah, definitely don't forget to equip the pop gun and the Holmes hat. You don't want to enter the first protoplasm fight dealing 1 damage, and the proto dealing like 20 damage. Okay, Cool branched off from Falexx's PRV route, picked up the hard hat. It's going to give him quite a bit of extra defense. It also means he doesn't need the Holmes hat. Well, that's an unfortunate spawn. Good movement guiding him through. Okay, and the Bubble Monkey is with Falexxx now. Bubble Monkey can be a real pain with his absent-minded leaving Jeff. There's no way to really control Bubble Monkey when he decides to leave Jeff. You just gotta deal with what the game throws at him. Yeah, this is some really unlucky spawn on Falexx's screen. Yikes, starting the Gruff Goat fight. Yeah, this is definitely the scariest monster on this northern half of Winners. Yeah, that heavy attack can do a lot of damage. Fortunately, a Death Warp I mean, dying at winners isn't the worst thing. You just have Jeff respawn, and he doesn't have psychic points anyway. I believe if he had died to the Gruff Goat, he would just spawn right in front of the boarding house. Wouldn't have lost all that much time. But he has a couple extra levels for his first Protoplasm fight. And who says no to free experience? Okay, Crrool's about to start this shack fight. And because he has 10 extra psychic points, he might be able to use an extra Rockin' somewhere. Might be during this fight, might be during Card Painter. Interesting to see what kind of damage these cultists do. Okay, 10. Oh, wow, the Rockin' missed Cultist B. That's unfortunate. Okay, that's good. The cultists have no friends. Try to call for help, but they weren't interested. Still not interested. Yeah, shoutouts to the Microsoft Paint Beast. God bless that derpy dinosaur. That derpy seed dinosaur. Yeah, unfortunately in this category, we only see Tessie once per run. If this were glitchless, like 2 hours later, Tessie gets to make another appearance. So Falexxx did a cool Gruff Goat despawn by moving down left into the wall and then down right. There's an interesting mechanic in this game where the bottom right pixel of the screen cancels any spawn tiles. But enough about that. We're going to have Falexxx hopefully kill this Protoplasm, the real boss of Boogie Percent. So yeah, he's choosing to auto-fight as long as there's only one Protoplasm. Yeah, Jeff must have gotten a little bit of defense from that Gruff Goat. Yeah, unfortunately none of the Rockins landed. That damage that Crrool's Rockin' did pretty much canceled itself out with that life up. So Crrool's choosing to heal up during the attacking turn. It's really good. It's a good knowledge of the scripted fight. Yeah, Falexxx wasn't able to get the duck skip. That duck was in that lower left corner, and that's a possible condition of getting that duck skip. Now he's just waiting for Bubble Monkey to leave and rejoin Ness. Good job getting that second proto skip. That's probably the easiest encounter skip in Brick Road, but definitely doesn't make it any easier. Or definitely not easy. Okay, Card Painter has around 260 HP. I wasn't really paying attention to what it was at, but fortunately he got the kill. Unfortunately for the Death Warp, he's at full HP. We see some runners switch to death warping at Peaceful Rest Valley, just because there are more monsters that can attack the party. We see that if Ness is like over 90 HP, and plus it's a chance to get the Cup of Life noodles. Yeah, it was some bad RNG from the lightning attacks. Crrool definitely did the best he could. He knew when to use his hamburgers. Knew to hold off on his Rockins because of the Psychic Shield that Carpainter casted. Okay, that was a really solid Pond Cave from Falexxx. Brick Road and Pond Cave are the two RNG heavy areas of winners. Pond Cave is a really good place to showcase your stutter stepping skills. Like I said, Falexxx is one of the best. If you want to learn about stutter stepping mechanics, look at his mole caves. So I forgot to talk about the inventory Tetris before the Death Warp. Crrool will have to drop the teddy bear in Paula's inventory. And if this was glitchless, there would be items that Ness has to drop, like any hamburgers, croissants, cookies. He does have to drop the Holmes hat or pass it off to Paula. There is a chance he might just walk back through PRV, not do the Death Warp. That's an interesting strat. After Carpainter gets killed, the broken bridge by the PRV entrance gets fixed. One of the former clan members turns back to normal and feels bad about cutting the bridge, so he repairs it for us. It makes the return trip through PRV less painful. He thought he could walk around the tree, but the tree was gatekeeping him pretty hard. If I were to guess the time saves, because Death Warps are so RNG heavy, I think taking the first encounter and Death Warping off that would be faster, but this is definitely a safer strat. We're still hanging on to that teddy bear. I think that's where most of the safety comes from. Walking through PRV also saves walking to the hospital, because Paul is alive anyway. So Falexxx is about to crash land, have Jeff join the party. I don't know if we're going to see Falexxx going to the arms dealer, buying some extra bottle rockets for safety. I don't think he's going to, but that's definitely an option. The one-hit turn has to be sick bubblegum use, man. I'm sure that trip made him hungry. But anyway, the one-turn condition has to be the BBR doing over 500 damage. And then Ness is rocking, hitting as well. Got a hippie on Crrool screen. It's an easy despawn. Yeah, that's my favorite part of the game. Everdread is still on top of that roof, but instead of jumping down to fight Ness, he just gives us $10,000 as he limps back into his house because he twisted his ankle. Okay, it's a huge sigh of relief whenever the boogie tent doesn't attack on turn 1. Ness or Jeff needs to hit, and it'll be boogie tent down. There we go. That was a weak rockin', but I'm glad that still killed it. Get to prove myself right once in a while. Yep, so all Falexxx has is level ups. A little cutscene for the 2 zombie bodyguards to run away. And then picking up the fly honey. GG Falexxx. Yeah, 112 with the Frank death is definitely a respectable time. I don't know what his PB is. I'm pretty sure he has a sub 110. I'd be surprised if he didn't. Yeah, I always thought it was a weird interaction with the theater managers. You have to be behind the desk to use the items. I mean, Ness isn't really that short. I think the manager's just being jerks. Poor sidewalk. That sidewalk got ran over. Meanwhile, Falexxx is just goofing off. I think he's either setting up the stairs glitch or just plain old death warping. Yeah, the stairs glitch is just a any percent tech. I think he's been learning any percent anyway. Yep, no problem here. Just floating off into outer space. Okay, so Crrool is on his way to the graveyard. Gonna check out the exit to Saturn Valley, as it's blocked by the zombies. Now, this is an area that can have a lot of flies spawn. So many that it causes lag and Nessa's movement. And a lot of the higher tier runners can gauge that lag as, oh, there's a lot of monsters on screen. That's really tricky in Dark 3 in general because there are a lot of NPCs moving around, like as he walks through the hotel. Yeah, there's like a little bit of jitter. So it's always hard to tell if the lag is from NPCs or from monsters. Oh yeah, fun fact, Ness and Paula get a full heal when they respawn in the dungeon. I never really made sense of that. Like, oh, you got ambushed at the hotel. We're gonna kidnap you, but at least we're gonna treat you well. And meanwhile, Falexxx is playing Name That Tune, going through the overworld of the game. Yeah, I think Falexxx went from Saturn Valley to Cave of the Past, if I remember my music tracks. Earthbound OST. Oh, I think Tony's going to yell at Jeff if he went to the gate. Yeah, he still has to pick up the items in the locker room. He's going to talk to Maxwell. It took me the longest time to realize that those were lab coats that Maxwell's wearing. I just thought he was some hobo hanging out at a boarding house. Thought those were dirt in his eyes and not safety goggles. I don't know, I just thought he was some dirty dude. You know, completely ignoring the beakers and the chalkboard with the random science-y equations on him. Well, that could be true, too. Yeah, sleep is hard to come by in scientific positions, science fields. Meanwhile, Falexxx is playing God, literally walking on water. Yeah, I think Maxwell's supposed to be like a residence hall master. A residence hall assistant. Yeah, my college we call them CAs or RHAs, if those terms sound familiar. That was a good walk through Northern Winters on a Crrool screen. Didn't get the pincer that Falexxx had. If those terms sound familiar. Yeah, there's a photo trigger underneath that last tent. Falexxx chose to hug the entrance of the tent from underneath. Crrool deciding to go over it. That's fine as well. One problem with going underneath the tent is that Watcher NPC can block Jeff, and if you go underneath to go around him, you'll get the photo trigger. I mean, we're talking about like a couple seconds difference. Like almost negligible difference. Yeah, behold Tessie in all its magnificence. Okay, Crrool's about to start the hardest fight in Earthbound. And he did the despawn movement as well. Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a 3-turn fight. Unfortunately, on that last turn, he called for help. We've seen some people switch to defending on Jeff, trying to get those extra turns for the better runaway chance. Yeah, Crrool's trying to set up the duck skip. Trying to get the duck as far down and left as possible. But the duck's not having any of that. Unfortunately, there's a lot of empty turns at this encounter. Like, the duck falls down, he tries to silence Jeff, tries to take mana away. Like, okay, sure, whatever. Jeff can't use PSI. Oh, no. He's going to pick up the croissant. It's a solid safety item. 26 HP should be fine against second proto if he has to take this fight. Okay, fortunately didn't get any help. Protoplasm has no friends. It's an interesting safety save. If Jeff dies in Pond Cave, normally he respawns after the Tessie drop off. And then Brick Road will be completely empty because it's flagged as finished when Jeff leaves Brick Road. Saving here means that, or saving there means that if Jeff dies, he doesn't have to go through Brick Road again. The maze of it. Oh boy, a smash would kill Jeff. He's alive though. Yep, no problem here. Two more rooms to go. And honestly, the worst in Pond Cave is over. I think the first couple spawns in the first room is probably the most spawn-heavy part of Pond Cave. There can be arguments about the last room, as there's a lot of mushrooms that can spawn. You can't really stutter past mushrooms, though. So it's just a matter of despawning them. The risk of getting a fight is pretty low. Of course, as I say that, there are no mushrooms in the last room. What am I talking about? I always like this interaction, like this platformer puzzle aspect of the game. Like there's a rope stuck up there. What do? Uh-oh. Yeah, he just walked down. The monkeys do their own thing. I mean, that's the final piece of the puzzle. You just give the monkey some gum. Makes a hot air balloon out of it. Just ignoring everything about physics. Oh yeah, you actually have to hit an input to start the Skyrunner off. Whoopsies. It's another cute fourth wall break. Dr. Andonut's pretty much telling you to hit the Super Nintendo controller. I've always been a big fan of this cutscene, this Skyrunner cutscene to Threed. A little bit of foretelling, telling us where we'll be in the future. Big city with buildings, a desert with monkeys and stuff. I remember it being really surreal on my first playthrough. Yeah, so this first Skyrunner sequence is like 2 minutes 40-ish seconds, or long enough to take a quick bathroom break. That's how I gauge these cutscenes anyway. Like the Skyrunner Back to Winters is a little bit shorter, so like I have to be quick about my bathroom break. And then the last one is during the Venus show. And because Venus is a diva, she likes to go off and take her time. It's like a bathroom break and a half. Okay, Jeff's about to join the party. Unless Crrool answers no and doesn't want Jeff to be our friend. Pretty much the inner feelings of Minnie and Earthbound Speedrunner. Okay, there can be zombie spawns that can really scare us. Fortunately, they're not around. They're off to lunch. Oh, we got all kinds of mannequins hanging out. Fortunately, they have a small detection radius, so they don't really notice nests unless we get super close. Okay, again, we don't want the tent to attack on the first turn, but if it does, it has a 75% chance of redirecting to the teddy bear. Because of that fear, that 1 out of 36 chance of killing Jeff, I've personally been a fan of defend BBR. If Boogie 10 hits Jeff, I can mash out the BBR roll. And explaining that, I completely missed what the BBR hit for. Oh, it was a normal rocket that he used. Okay, we'll see what the BBR hits for now. There we go. That would have been a one-shot kill. But of course you can't always rely on that. But yeah, GG Crrool. Yeah, a lot of that time loss was in Onet. Just unfortunate Titanic Ant fights. Like, even Car Painter, like, Car Painter's lightnings were not wanting to hit. But we saw some interesting stuff that I learned from his run. walking back through PRV, deciding to keep the teddy bear, figuring out the death warp was would have taken too long with Ness at that high HP. I think he was at like 120 HP after killing Card Painter. And also Ness was really strong through PRV on Crrool's run, having that extra mana for an extra Rockin'. Using that against Card Painter made up for the bad Card Painter RNG. But yeah, thank you Falexxx and Crrool for the awesome race. Thank you Feasel for the speed running or the speed gaming rehost, the restream. Glad to have done this It's always an honor to commentate on my favorite game. Looking forward to being back in the future. Oh, what category of Link's Awakening is coming up? I know that game is super busted, and because of that, there's a lot of different categories that have spawned in that game.